Okay, terrific. Evening, folks, and welcome to this evening's Azure user group. And a massive thank you to Sarah and Gregor for inviting me along. I'm really delighted to be here. I'm Nicola McLean. I am an account manager for Microsoft. A lot of the work that I do with customers is helping them kind of kick off their AI journeys. So for the purpose of this evening, we're going to be talking a bit about Copilot Chat. So what is it, yeah, what does it mean? So we've had a lot of positive feedback from the sessions, and I hope that tonight is the same for you all as well. It wouldn't be a Microsoft session without some slides, so I promise that we will get onto something a bit cooler when we go on to demonstrations. So hopefully it does all go to plan, but please do be kind to me if we get some challenges along the way. So I'm just going to let that catch up. So let's just kickstart with what is Copilot Chat and what it can do for us. So, and hopefully with today's demos, you'll see that come to life. And I'm sure everybody's heard of it. I'm sure everybody's used it. But if I cast my mind back just to me personally, 2.5 years ago when this came about, I suppose how I was using it was really like a search tool. I wasn't actually using it the way that I could to get the most out of it. So hopefully this is going to help be a bit of a refresher for everybody. So I don't know about anybody else, but we've all been there when we've seen a massive Word document or PDF, having to troll through it, find the answers to the questions that you're looking for. That can be a bit laborious, so we don't need to do that anymore. We can chat with our documents. I will show you that. Also, I can be a little bit curt in my emails, so sometimes it can be really useful to find, to use it to just tailor my response depending on who I'm speaking to. And also generate images that are copyright free and completely unique for us to use. And also, if I'm somebody who likes learning, I can search for learning pathways that are tailored to the outcome that I'm looking for. Yeah, and I can ask really kind of complex questions that otherwise I would have had to go into like different Google searches and Bing search in order to find out. So, why Copilot, you might ask? And again, let me just see if this catches up a little bit. And I'm hoping it does. So, any idea how I can move this on a little bit? Huh? I'm trying to move it on a wee bit, Sarah. I don't know if that's, but it's just doing a little bit. Right, thank you. So I've just lost my place there, folks. Thank you. So why Copilot? So you've no doubt everybody's heard about different AI chat tools, and you know, things like ChatGPT and so on. So why is it different from the likes of that? So first things first, it does use all the latest AI models, GPT-5 and DALL-E for images. So if, like me, that means absolutely nothing because I'm not particularly technical, but that is what it uses. And they're constantly being refreshed and updated. It is really transparent about the sources of information that it's pulling from. So you'll always get a reference to the websites or the information that it's actually giving you a response back from. There's no knowledge cut off, so it's all of the information that's available on the web to date. And the single, probably most important thing that I would hope everybody takes away is that it does have enterprise data protection, which means that anything that we use and anything that we upload into Copilot, it's not used to train the AI models. That if it's corporate information or corporate files, it's not going anywhere. It stays within. There's no eyes on that, so it's safe and secure. So, where do we access it? I'm pretty sure everybody's had their experience of it, but it is in lots of different places, and I'll show you that when I go through some of the demonstrations. But you can go to m365copilot.com, the app, it's in the Edge browser, a Teams app, if you can pin it in there. So we should have everybody pretty well covered. And that's the thing, it is intended to be for everybody. So whether you're a frontline worker or if you're somebody sitting at an office, at a desk in an office. I don't think there's too much I want to say just about this one, because we will get to know it if when we go through the demonstrations. No doubt everybody's heard about prompting. So I just wanted to do a wee bit of a recap on kind of what that is and why it's different from a traditional Bing or Google search, whatever your preference is. So the way I think about Copilot is like a junior member of staff, and I'm giving them an instruction. If I was searching on the web, I'd just ask it a question like the latest news about X and Y. But with a prompt, what I'm doing is actually giving, so it's like a PA. So I would actually give them an instruction. So if it was build me a table with these headings using this information, or create me an output in such and such reading language, I'm going to be really specific about what it is that I want it to do. So what makes an effective prompt? There is a model that we use, which is the GCSE model, nice and catchy, but what it stands for is goal. So ultimately, where is it you want Copilot to get you to? Context, is there somebody else involved, or is it, who else is involved? Is there a source? Are you going to reference a file for it to use, or are you going to link it, are you going to point it to a specific website or set of websites? And then expectations, how is it you want it to deliver that? Is it, we talked about a table, so is it in a table format? Is it in a poem format, or an age 10 reading comprehension? Just let it know how you'd like it to deliver that for you. But there's no such thing as a wrong prompt. It's just, I've found it personally a bit of a journey in kind of refining those skills. And we talked about sources, so incredibly important, because Copilot, not pilot, we remain responsible and accountable for the information that we choose to use that's generated by AI. And so you're going to want to just ratify the sources that it's pulling information from, because obviously it's not going to replace human judgment. That's up to us. With Copilot Chat, so the free version of Copilot, there are some limitations, so I just wanted to call those out. There is no daily chat limit, so there used to be, but there isn't anymore, so that's a good thing. We are limited to 1 image per chat session with the free version, and then there is a bit of an annoying file upload limit where we're limited to 1 megabyte and 5 uploads per day. So if you're somebody who's working on, say, a transcript from an all-day meeting, or basically a file that's bigger than that, you would need to chunk it up into different files in order to get the output that you're looking for. And that's it. That's the pain of PowerPoint over. I do have some demonstrations, so I'm going to just do a little transition to get the right bit up onto the screen. Any questions on what I've shared so far, folks? I realise we've got such a mixed audience here, so I'm trying to kind of show what it can do, but also appreciate that it's probably very high level for some of you who are a lot more technically au fait.
You mentioned enterprise data protections and stuff like that.
Yes.
So if an organisation's using Copilot, what's to stop somebody asking what the chief exec's salary is?
So that rather than that being a question about Copilot, like the kind of prereqs would be, what data security have you got in place? So what are the information protection policies? Is that, I would suggest that that's probably something that you would work on first before you start adopting AI en masse. If that's a concern. But no user will have access, will be able to see anything they don't already have access to. So it's not, they're likely going to have access to that today. Appreciate it's probably not going to.
So Copilot on a per user basis will follow their current permissions.
Correct.
Access that.
Yep.
I think some organisations they maybe have people that actually use it first to expose the weaknesses before they release it to all users, because quite often you can expose open SharePoint sites and things like that. So before it's handed over, I think the security teams usually check it first, because there's probably a number of things that people shouldn't see in most organisations.
Yep.
But Copilot's great for exposing that, but as long as it's someone that's asked to do that first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's what I've found just personally is with my customers, it's kind of moved them on to do some of that kind of housekeeping that they maybe haven't done previously. Yeah.
They've just added lots of people to lots of things and not really thought about the consequence later on and so on.
Access management, yeah. So I've got a load of demos to do, so I'm going to do those. Let me just start with this. So I've got this fabulous news article here. Say news article, blog article, and it's beautifully written. But we might have a need be that on our social media accounts. So I'm going to say, please rewrite this blog for Facebook, actually. And then I'm going to say, make it fun and use emojis. And here it is, Agentic AI here to stay. Wonderful. Great, and it's given me all the stuff I've asked for. It's asking me, would I like a tailored version for LinkedIn? So if I'm happy with that, what I can do is just hit this copy button and go away and use it for whatever I want to use it for. And I'm showing you this example, but obviously imagine it could be for anything. I might want to, I don't know if anybody else is into a bit of crime drama, but I might want it in crime drama style. So please can you convert this into crime drama style? I'll say rewrite. So let's just see what it does. Wonderful. I won't read it all because I'll get carried away, rogue agents. But that's great. But what I can also do is change that to can you rewrite this Polish so I don't know if we've got any Polish speakers in, but I do have a reasonable level of confidence. So there we go. Probably not what you'd actually choose to do with it, but I'm just trying to demonstrate the breadth of it. What I will do, so as you can see, we've been accessing it here through the sidebar in the browser. I'm going to just move on over to the app. So let me just tidy this up. And you'll notice that I'm going to just close that over. I've got here work and web, and I've got that because of where I work, obviously. So I've got an M365 Copilot license. But if you're using this and you don't have a license, you won't see this toggle. It will just be web-based. So what am I doing now? I have. I've got so I've got loads of the prompts here. So I'm just going to copy that across. So for example, if I'm a teacher, and if I'm looking for class ideas and suggestions, what I can do is in the web version, using the Scottish Curriculum for Excellence to create some class suggestions for imaginative writing on the subject of Egyptians. So I'm just going to pop that in here and see what it does. And actually what it's done is pulled out all of the, it's referenced all of the Scottish Curriculum for Excellence learnings and outcomes as well. So I'm going to say as a follow-up, can you explain what learnings and outcomes above relate to? So here it is. So great, and then it's always going to give me like some suggestions as a way of continuing the conversation. So, so what else can I show you? I can. I've actually got here a mock social work assessment for one of my customers, and what I'm trying to show here is that it's got a load of PII in it, so I can ask Copilot to replace that with an asterisk, and that it understands what GDPR and PII actually is. So let me just copy that across from here. It's a big long one, so I've got this. So I'm going to just copy that in here, and then as you can see, I'm just asking it to replace any PII with an asterisk. So there, it's come back. And it looks like it's starred all of that out. And obviously, like, you know, you're going to want, if this was the sort of thing that you were using it for in a work context, you're going to obviously want to triple check that. It's not going to replace anything that an individual's going to do, but the idea is that certainly for some of the clients that I work with in the public sector, save them a bit of time for things like subject access request, FOIs and so on. So any questions, folks, based on what I've shown so far?
Is this the free version?
Yeah.
What's the difference with the enterprise one?
So, so if you can see here, so work and web, right? Web is everything that's on the internet, and whatever I choose to upload to it. So I might put a complaints handling policy up, or I might reference a strategy document or something. Whereas the work one is everything in your M365 tenant that you have access to. So if you've got access to files, SharePoint sites, it's going to reason over the top of all of that. So the difference is working web. Is that? You got that? Okay, pleasure. I did say about the enterprise data protection, so I'm just going to hit this and start a new chat. This wee green tick, because when I opened this up, I've logged in with my Entra ID, and then you're always going to get that wee green tick again on the free version. So everything I've shown is on the web, the free version. When you've got that green tick there, then you've got enterprise data security applied to the chat, and what that means is that you can upload corporate files without them, or sensitive information, without it going anywhere and without it being used to train any of the AI models or Microsoft services. I do have, let me just think, I'm going to just show you another one. We've said about redaction. So I've got here a complaints. I've got a complaint here. Right, so if you can imagine, I'm just going to copy and paste that in here, and I'm going to say, please can you draft me a response to this complaint, and I'm going to ask it, I'm actually going to upload a file for it to reference, and reference the attached policy. So bear with me. I did have this set up a second ago. Copilot chat. Complaints policy. Where is this? Here it is. There. So I'm just going to attach that for it to reference, and then see what it says. So I've asked it to draft me a response, and then I've deliberately I've used Copilot to just create me a customer complaint with lots of different topics. So in this case, I'm Nicola, and I went to Aberdeen, and there was a load of potholes, and also the public transport system wasn't working, etc., etc. So I've put all that in, and here it's drafted me a response back, and it's referencing the complaints handling policy that I've uploaded as well, and it's letting me know what I can do about stage 1 complaints, stage 2 complaints, if I want to escalate, etc., etc. So that's great. And as I suppose the key point there is then with the free version, when you're logged in with enterprise data protection, from a corporate perspective, like you can upload files if you or sensitive information if you choose to. I don't know about anybody else, but sometimes, like if I'm being given a task, I can procrastinate until my life's content, so it really has helped me, like, just actually get started on something. So I might ask it, to help with our digital strategy. So in this case, I'm going to say, can you create me a digital strategy for who for? I'm going to say, I'm going to say one of my customers, so Fife Council. Fife Council, based on their existing plans and emerging technology. So, and obviously, you know, what I'm not suggesting is that this is going to be the finished article. Of course, it's not, but it's going to give you a start and something to work with. So here it has like given me an executive summary, referencing the existing digital strategy, some strategic objectives, they might be useful, governance and delivery, and conclusion. So hopefully, if anybody suffers from that sort of blank page moment, that's they can find it helpful in that context. So I'm going to pause, folks, and then see if there are any other questions.
Can you toggle different models here or bring your own?
So for this, this is Microsoft's commercially pre-packaged Copilot offering. What you can do, and what I'm not showing, but is where that sort of extends is if you start using agents, right? So really what that is Copilot Studio just extended to third-party data sources or line of business applications. And at that point, if you want to use like a different model from like the AI Foundry, you could infuse or you could add in your own model to that. But for the purposes of this is just like a Microsoft's off-the-shelf AI kind of tool that's web-based, and then the premium version or the M365 Copilot version is the one that spans all your Office 365 applications, and inherits any security and compliance permissions that you've got set up. Does that answer? I hope that answered the question. Okay.
Might be a bit of a cheeky question, but what you've shown to us, Copilot agent website, which is nowhere near as good. How do I get it that good?
Copilot, what is not that good?
Web search and Copilot agents.
Uh-huh.
I can't make it do what you've just shown.
Oh, well, I'm pleased. I don't know about agent search. So I don't know, I wouldn't want to give you...
That into Copilot.
Okay. I don't know, Sarah, is that something yours? I think, no.
Not come across agent search either. How do you get access to that?
As in Copilot Studio, and then the preview version is web search, and it does that, but it doesn't do it as good, and I want that in my Copilot agents. Because that would be awesome.
So where, I know that, so the agents that are in the M365 Copilot, I think they use a different language model. Sorry, I say I think they do use a different language model. I'll need to come back as to what that actually is. But because it's a deeper read, from what I understand, like because it's much more detailed in reasoning, it takes slightly longer, or it takes longer to run. But you put me on the spot, so I'm going to come back to you like over pizza and
API to bring that into our apps then as well.
say that.
Does an API exist so that we can face that into our own apps?
Use Copilot. Sorry,
Go, no, please.
Copilot Studio to do that, or AI Foundry to build into that? Because this is, so if you go to like portal.office.com, this is what comes up nowadays.
Yeah.
So it will just be available within Copilot Studio, I imagine, to build on top of that or put in some MCP.
Yeah, it's not good. That's sorry. That's cool. No worries.
Cool.
Yeah, see what's been trained though, I guess, isn't it? Because that'll be learning. I know Nicola said it's not learning our data, but the free version will be learning from everybody else using it. So I wonder if that what you're using is just not on the same database behind it learning.
That was kind of my question, was in terms of enterprise version versus web. The enterprise version looks like it has got access to your Office 365 how much learning does it do within that sphere?
So I'm going to say that it doesn't do any learning because I don't believe it does. I think it's just reasoning over the top of the data.
Isn't trained the corporate one, they don't do profiles, they show the search
Yep.
completely differently. So it doesn't
Yeah,
do
I
that.
think I appreciate that. You can see it and what license you see the corporate version and the web version. It was just, for example, learning what it was doing.
That was doing, no, it doesn't learn from the eye. It doesn't learn from it. Yep. Folks, I've got through these like demonstrations in like absolute jig time because it usually takes me a wee bit longer than that. So I'm happy to show or try anything that anybody wants to see. Please.
Is there,
I've just got a question on what's the difference between quick response and think deeply when you search for a question, and can it actually give you different answers?
Yes, it will. So it will give you different answers, and it can give you different answers when you do it. So where you would get that consistency, or if it's a process that you're running, I don't know, as an organisation or as an individual, and if that's a process and you need a consistent output, what I would suggest is it's an agent that you want to set up. So and then that agent just uses a pre-canned prompt. Like some of these prompts I've seen are like 2 pages long, and it's a pre-canned prompt, and that's just executed. That that runs and that gets the output, and that's consistent. But if there's 10 people in a room and they're asking, they're prompting it in a different way to do the same thing, like the outputs are going to be those outputs are going to be inconsistent with one another. There was another part to the question. I think it was. Oh, okay.
When you do, well, I found
No, please.
I found when you do the kind of quick answer one, it just gives you something back and it's maybe used one source. But if you use deep thinking, it's actually taking its time to do what we would do and actually have like multiple tabs open and go cross-reference things and then actually feed you back. So if you're wanting a complex answer, using like the deep thinking in your prompt will help you get a spread of sources and not just some random person's Reddit like answer.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
So it's like caveat to that, it can overthink and give you the
Well,
wrong answer at the end, so you then have to verify that the initial answer it had, if that wasn't anyway wrong, it makes assumptions based on that and can be even more wrong than it was in the beginning. So you have to, human has to decide.
Yeah, if it's a controversial topic and potentially there's going to be multiple answers, it can deep think too much and give you absolute. I was going to swear there and I've realised we're recording tonight, so no.
Yeah. Sometimes I find it helpful as well to tell it what not to do. So don't abbreviate, don't make stuff up, do you know what I mean? So that's part of the prompt process. But I suppose that's if I'm looking for a really precise, consistent output. It's different if I'm just sort of playing around with it and kind of wanting to understand what it can do. But I've found, not to sound cliche, but I've found that it has been a journey with the prompting and kind of getting to a point of not just playing around with it and actually using it as part of a business process. And you did ask what was the difference between just normal prompts and deep reasoning. It's about 15 minutes I've seen the researcher agent take. So if I'm asking it to, I don't know, research the last, 5 years of reports of poor performance of X company, it can maybe, it's about 15 minutes it takes for that to sort of come back, whereas obviously this is seconds.
And one thing I have seen recently, the GPT-5 upgrade, the context retention span has increased, like the uploaded files. The earlier models were not, the context was not returning, it was a very short span of time. But now the GPT-5 has improved that. I think even if I upload files, it keeps the context till 5-7 days. I can continue the thread and
Aye.
I think it is something intentional, or it is just part of a strategy that OpenAI has done it, or because in 3 or 4 models it was not there. I am using for quite some time, but it was not there. So the context was used to be very for a short time. Like I upload and then after 1 hour I cannot access those files. I have to re-upload it. But I think something has changed with the recent upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, I've found, just personally, but I've found it faster. I don't know about the technical strategy of it.
Definitely changed. Model 4 to 5 is definitely different. Model 4 would assume a lot of things if you just put in a prompt, whereas model, like using GPT-5, you can now say something like, you were doing social media posts, Nicola, weren't you? So you could say, act as a social media manager and then do this for me, and it takes that context and tries to be that expert, whereas 4 would just, if you just said, give me a social media post, it would just assume and it would just do it, which was fantastic, right? It helped you, but with 5 you can be much more precise and give it much more boundaries, and you have to be more concise with 5. 5 will not assume from your prompt what it wants you to do, so it will give you absolute nonsense sometimes. So it is a journey of learning, like you're saying, Nicola, it is a journey of learning, and you do have to understand what model you're using, because I think you're using 4 on that one.
I didn't switch over to 5 just because, so I'm going to actually just get back to the home page.
Yep. Very different to how you would prompt 5, and I think that's where us as IT people maybe have to learn a little bit, because we need to teach the end users that the prompting is changing and how to get the best out of it.
That's it, yeah, and from my just from my kind of customer's perspective, that's the feedback I hear. It's that all users are just using it as search, but you know, that's not how you're going to get any kind of output out of it, or how you're going to actually use it to save time. So I think I am on time. I hope that was okay, folks. I realise, like, I don't want that to be too basic when I know you guys are super technical in your field. So I'll close it there because I've seen pizza arrive not long ago. So thank you.